One great example, the late Peter Lewis at Progressive, for example. He recently passed away, and he was an extraordinary executive, but extremely quirky and different. And there was a great Fortune article written about him many years ago about some of those unique attributes I would describe. But at the end of the day, Peter's father and a partner started Progressive in 1937. He went to it, I think, in the early 60s when he graduated from Princeton. And here's an interesting insight. Two of the three MBAs, the first three MBAs that he hired were in 1977. One was Chuck Choquel, who became, I think, the CFO and later Chief Investment Officer, and Mike Krause and Jim Pouliot were two of the others. And I interviewed them many, many years ago, 22 years ago or longer. And they gave me enormous insights into Peter. And Peter had, even though he was quirky and different, as many of these leaders are, many of them, whether it's Phil Knight or John Mackey or Howard Schultz, many of them have unique and different personalities, but that is really not what the focus is. The focus is, do they have the attributes of being a great leader? Do they have values? Do they have a vision? Are they able to communicate those values and vision? Do they live those values and vision day to day? And then are they able to exercise sound judgment? So when I look at management teams, after we've done all this background work, read the numbers, talked to competitors, customers, former people, I'm always thinking, what's their value system? What's their vision? Are they trying to truly build a company with enduring, sustainable values? And a great example of that, if you really want to study a great, great leader, you want to study Marvin Bower, who's considered the father of management consulting at McKinsey and Company. And there's a couple of outstanding books. The first is The Will to Lead that he wrote. The second is McKinsey, Marvin Bower by Edith Edersheim. It's a terrific book. And it talks about how his whole focus was to build a global institution. Client needs came first. Taking care of your people, delegating, giving enormous responsibility to them, sharing the equity. He refused to take the company public, despite owning an enormous amount of the stock. He refused to sell the company. He ultimately sold the stock at 1x book value to many of the other partners. He consistently talked about pushing the equity down throughout the organization, even when he sold his at 1x book value. He didn't want to charge anywhere near fair market value because he felt that would impact the organization, and they would have to borrow great deals of money to buy him out rather than invest in the business. So those are the kinds of things we look for in management teams. And the important point is the personality quirks, some of the secondary things aren't really critical to us. We're not trying to moralize here. We're simply trying to find leaders that have a unique and focused set of values, an extraordinary vision that they're able to communicate throughout the organization, and that are able to exercise sound judgment throughout the organization. Because ultimately, they have to really be capable and talented to get the troops to follow.